Peace, power, and profit, family. This is your brother Wall Street Logic, and I am going to share and give commentary on Nike's earnings for Q3 2022 going forward to Q4 2022. And we're going to discuss some of the things that they talked about in their earnings call and, kind of provide some guidance and insights on what they have in store going forward. So what I'm going to read here is from CNBC. It's an article about Nike's earnings. They did release earnings today. I was on an earnings call and, I always watch it again or listen to it again to get more perspective on what they're trying to do. And as a sneaker collector, this also helps on the consumer side to kind of help, the sneaker community understand, the business side of these companies and not just the consumer side. So beginning at the top and the plot of the article, Nike reports sales growth driven by North American demand delays outlook amid global unrest. And the reason why is because it's going to stay later in the article. There's a lot of stuff going on. We have inflation at its highest since the 1970s. We have the Russia and Ukraine battle and war. And China has its own issues with, civil unrest, boycotters of Western, companies over there. So it's a bunch of stuff going on. Also supply chain issues. So all of that stuff is, is giving Nike a problem with, talking about future growth and going forward and giving guidance. So that's what that means when a company says that providing guidance on going forward, they can't really do that because there's too much stuff going on that affects their day-to-day business, and they can't really give a concrete answer about that. So moving forward, key points. Nike's fiscal third quarter results topped analyst estimates thanks to robust North American demand. But with lingering uncertainties around inflation, a war overseas, and clogged supply chains, Nike is holding off on giving an outlook for the upcoming year. We are focused on what we can control, said Chief Financial Officer Matthew Friend on a post-earnings conference call. There are several new dynamics creating higher levels of volatility. Nike shares rose more than 5% in extended trading Monday as the sneaker retailer's fiscal third quarter results topped analyst estimates due to robust demand in North America. But with lingering uncertainties around inflation, a war overseas, and clogged supply chains, Nike is holding off giving its outlook for the upcoming year until it reports fiscal fourth quarter results. We are focused on what we can control, said Chief Financial Officer Matthew Friend on a post-earnings conference call. There are several new dynamics creating higher levels of volatility. Given its global reach, Nike is serving as somewhat of a bellwether of how other retailers are managing challenges such as elevated oil prices, inflation, crippled supply chains, and global unrest driven by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Nike's China business is also on watch. A boycott among Chinese consumers toward Western brands caused Nike sales to take a hit early last year and is still in recovery mode. Nike has prioritized North America, its biggest market, over China during the pandemic when supplies have been tight. In its third quarter, Nike said sales in North America climbed 9%. Sales in Greater China, the company's third biggest market behind its Europe, Middle East, and Africa segment, fell 5% from the prior year. For its current fiscal year, Nike reiterated its expectations for sales to grow mid-single digits from the prior 12-month period. Analysts had forecasted revenue to be up 5.3%, according to Refinitiv data. Here's how Nike did in its fiscal third quarter compared with what Wall Street was anticipating based on a survey of analysts by Refinitiv. Earnings per share, 87 cents versus 71 cents expected. Revenue, $10.87 billion versus $10.59 billion expected. Nike reported net income for the 3-month period ended February 28th of $1.4 billion or 87 cents per share, compared with $1.45 billion or 90 cents a share a year earlier. That top profit estimates for 71 cents a share, according to Refinitiv data. Sales rose 5% to $10.87 billion from $10.36 billion a year earlier, beating analysts' expectations for $10.59 billion. The better-than-expected results prove Nike's ability to operate in a volatile environment. CEO John Donahoe said in a press release, marketplace demand continues to significantly exceed available inventory supply, he added. Friend told analysts Nike's revenue growth would have been even stronger over the holiday period had Nike had enough merchandise on hand to meet shopper demand. All of its factories in Vietnam are now operational, he said, following pandemic-driven shutdowns that stalled manufacturing. Transportation times, however, remain elevated, particularly in North America. Friend said that Nike has moved up its buying timelines in order to have enough products on shelves for later this fall. As of February 28th, Nike said inventories on its balance sheet total $7.7 billion, up 15% from the prior year period, in part due to ongoing supply chain disruptions that have elongated transit times, the company said. The bloated inventory levels were partially offset by robust consumer demand, it said. Nike's gross margins increased slightly to 46.6% from 45.6% the prior year, thanks to more full-price selling. Nike has increasingly shifted its business away from wholesalers and instead to selling more goods directly to consumers. Foot Locker, for example, recently said it will lose a percentage of Nike merchandise in the coming years. In turn, Nike has been investing heavily in its website and flagship stores to win sales. Now, I also talked about that in Foot Locker's earnings call last month. They said that, for the past 4 years, they've been decreasing their inventory with Nike and starting, to promote other brands and other acquisitions that they invested in to kind of put themselves on their own pedestal and grow their business. This is not to say that they're separated from Nike. They're still doing business with Nike and still selling their products. It's just been minimized, and they now have more opportunities to promote brands like Puma, New Balance, and other brands that they have. So it all works well. Nike also said they wanted to sell direct to consumer, and, that helps both of them out. It helps Nike out so they can get more direct to consumer products and sales. And that also allows them to at least put in a reward system for their members, because every other shoe company or retail company has a reward system. And Nike is the only one that really doesn't. So this helps them out a lot going forward. So reading on, to be sure, Donahoe said that Monday evening that Foot Locker remains a large and important partner for Nike. Moving forward, Foot Locker will have a distinct role in Nike's businesses as a wholesaler with a focus on basketball and kids, he said. There we go. At this point, Nike noted that it has finished communicating the big account pivots to all of its wholesale partners. Nike's wholesale revenue in the third quarter fell 1%, while store sales rose 14% year over year as shopper traffic normalized, the company said. Nike's digital sales in the latest quarter rose 19% from the prior year, fueled by 33% growth in North America. Donahoe told analysts on the earnings call that Nike will continue to grow its presence in the so-called digital metaverse through its tie-up with Roblox, as well as its acquisition of the virtual sneaker market, RTFKT. That's big. As of Monday's market close, Nike shares are down 22% this year, and we all know why it's down. All of us investors know why the market is down, why Nike is down, It's a reset. Stocks were way too expensive. They're still too expensive. So expect more, pain to come when it comes to, these stock prices, inflation, surging commodity prices, oil, wheat, nickel. It's just everything is up. Okay, moving forward, I think that's it for this article. So now we can talk about some of the commentary, me listening to the call and some notes I took down. So as you know, Nike is trying to do more direct to consumer. That's always good because they're like the biggest retailer in the world and they don't have a reward system. And I feel like they're about to change that. So here's some notes. They are investing into more Nike stores. So they will be building more stores, for the consumers to shop at. That's great because their sneakers app segment that they have, they are refurbishing a lot of their programs through the sneakers apps. So Sneakers Pass it is a main issue because I think bots were able to, bot those things and they had to retweak stuff. So now they're doing a sneaker pass is different to where now you have to reserve it. That's a great thing. But what Nike has an issue with, they don't have stores. They don't have enough stores, for one, in the U.S. So we have 2 Nike outlets in Houston, but they never get a sneaker pass. They need to change that. There needs to be a big Nike store, not a Nike outlet, but a Nike store for Houston. It's the 4th largest city in the U.S. Nike, y'all have to do this. Like, come on. You give Dallas one and you don't give Houston one. That's crazy. That's madness. Dallas used to always get hit on the sneakers pass, and Houston never got that love. So we need a Nike. We need a huge Nike store in Houston. We have the space for it. We have the consumers for it. Nike, come on, give that to us. We need that. So yes, they need more Nike store. They're building more Nike stores. So that's good. That's good for everybody. They're big on women's apparel, and Jordan. They're going to keep promoting that, pushing that, because those are one of their growers. The digital growth has been solid. On the earnings call, this is what they talked about. The digital numbers are great. It's increased year by year, year to year, month to month. And they're going to keep trying to fine tune the Nike app, the sneakers app, to try to reward members as much as they can to keep us engaged with the app. And going into that, the Sneakers Live. So they made a comment about that the Sneakers Live has been performing well. It's been getting more people onto the app, and them dropping shoes and products through the app, for members has, garnered all of that, participation through the Sneakers Live. So they are going to continue to do that. So make sure that, if you do have the Sneakers app, that you, follow that, watch the lives and watch what they will possibly drop, because they're going to start dropping more product on the Sneakers Live. So get prepared for that. They're putting a lot of money into, the digital marketplace. They kept saying marketplace, the marketplace over and over. You know what I'm saying? They really trying to drive this home. Like, they're really, putting effort into, building the digital marketplace in totality, even with different retailers like Dick's Sporting Goods, like a Foot Locker, like a Champs, like they talked about James Whitner with, Social Status and Amon Manier. They're going to be investing a lot of money and time and energy for the members into that. So be looking for more stuff from, Social Status, Amon Manier, and all their affiliates, as we go forward. So Nike is starting to really, prop up some more brands, to push the culture forward, to help the members, help the consumers, get the product that they want in their hands. And you got to salute them for that. So something new that they're bringing to North America that they have been doing in China and North Korea is the Jordan only concept. It is going to be brought out in 2023 sometime. It's going to start with a pilot program, of course, but it's been working in China and North Korea, and they're going to bring that here to the States. So we can't wait for that. So their member enrollment and Nike app downloads have been increasing year over year, month over month. Also, the sizes of members' orders have been crazy. They talked about the numbers on that as well. So it's really growing. It's really picking up. They talked about, their promotion that they did with EA Sports for the Super Bowls, and they garnished a lot of member traffic like that as well. Got a lot of memberships out of that. It says here, over the past 4 years, Nike has reduced the amount of wholesale accounts by 50%. They talked about that in the article. I talked about that in the Foot Locker's earnings call on how, they're going to decrease the quantity of their products with other retailers and start selling direct to consumer. And they've still been able to deliver strong revenue growth through Nike Direct and their remaining wholesale partners. So they're moving to the next phase of their marketplace strategy. And that seems to be digital growth, direct-to-consumer growth, more Nike stores, more chances for the members to be rewarded with these highly released products like Jordans, because we all like Jordans. The sneakerhead community loves J's. So Nike is going to deliver. This is what they basically said through the whole conference call, is that we want to take care of the customers, the consumers, and we have to see that, Nike. So build more stores in some of the biggest cities that don't have it. LA, Chicago, New York, they're fine. You need to work on other cities that are major. Houston, we have 2 Nike outlets, but we don't have a Nike store to where we can hit on the sneakers pass. I'm going to keep drilling that. Nike, we need that. We are the 4th largest city. We need that. Okay, so we talked about James Whitner with Social Status and Aimé Manière. They're putting more energy into them and propping them up. So the Aimé Manière Jordan 2 actually comes out this month, April 24th, I believe. So be looking for that. Oh, I can't wait. And I'm sure, I think that's dropping on Social Status and Aimé Manière. It'll probably drop on sneakers later, because that's pretty much how they done it the last few times. They did the Jordan 3, Aimé Manière, last year around the same time. They dropped it on Social Status and Aimé Manière website, and then later, like a couple months later, they dropped it on sneakers. They did the same thing with the Jordan 1s as well. So expect it to drop on sneakers app as well, if you are interested. Okay, what else we got here? Investing in Nike stores, more member enrollment, Nike app downloads. Okay, yeah. All right, so that's about it on that. Yes, they are still fighting inflation. Federal Reserve rate hikes are coming. So if you are an investor, Nike is starting to look a bit more attractive at these prices. But we are in we are in a period where, Buying stocks is very risky. For one, the state of the economy. So be careful. Dollar cost average. Know what you're buying, when you're buying it, what levels, why is it attractive, so forth and so on. So for the sneakerhead community, this is the business side of Nike. Not everything is about, you being able to hit or cop every shoe. They're trying to make it better for everyone, trying to make it fair, and try to, get more products to us. But you got to understand the business side, and then you got to understand the economic side, which is hand in hand. And once you understand that, you can have the full scope of how things work. Things just don't work on your clock and what you want. So, I believe that is all I have now. Their earnings call basically, is growing their marketplace. They did talk about, the metaverse and their partnership with Roblox and, pushing more into that as well. And just increasing, digital sales and demands, building more Nike stores, getting more products direct to consumer to make the customer happy. And they also drill home about membership, getting members connected to, their wholesalers to get credit, to know who they are, know who their consumers are, who their supporters are, who are the people that are spending the most money, who, loves to buy Nike product. They are watching, they're looking, they're tweaking things to make things better. Going forward, it will get better. They're investing a lot of time, energy, and money and resources into their program, to their marketplace. And that's what we all want at the end of the day. The best chance to get the best products. So that is all from me. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And follow me on IG at Wall Street Logic, at TikTok at Wall Street Logic 09. Also on Twitter at Logic the Lion. That is where I post most of my investing info. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Chris Logic Woods, where I post everything. And, if you got any questions about investing or how to invest, you can always send me a message on any of those platforms, and I'm more willing to help. Till next time, peace.